Team Grade 5, it's Miss Alia here again. It's time for another edition of Grade 5 Science. Today's topic is worm and myriapods. But just in case you're not feeling motivated, remember the words of Marie Curie. Nothing in life is to be feared, it's only to be understood. Today's topic, boys and girls, are worms and myriapods. But before we dive into that, let's discuss what are invertebrates. Remember, invertebrates are animals with no backbone. They have internal or external skeleton that is made of protein, glass, or limestone, but it is not a bone. They are usually small in size, and most of the animals on the planet are invertebrates. The first type of invertebrate we'll be looking at are worms. Have you ever touched a worm before? I have, and I did not like it. Worms are so soft and squishy, and they're always moving. It gives me chills. Anyways, as mentioned, worms have soft bodies. Did you know worms have no eyes or ears, but rather they sense things through vibration and touch? You see, worms are sensitive to touch and temperature. Worms have a coat of mucus that helps them to glide and move. All worms breathe through their skin by diffusion of gases. So worms, they don't breathe with lungs, they actually breathe through their skin. That's a fun fact. Now let's look at the various parts of a worm. A worm has a mouth, and some worms have a body or segments. And it also has a part called the clitellum, which stores its eggs. And then, of course, the last part is the anus. There are various types of worms, namely flatworm, roundworm, and segmented worm. Let's discuss what are flatworms. Flatworms are parasites, meaning they feed on other living things. They live in water and under rocks in mud. Some examples of parasites are tapeworms, which are found inside the bodies of other animals, planarian, which feeds on dead animals, and tapeworms, which are found in pigs. Another type of worm would be the roundworm. The roundworm are long and pointed at both ends. Their bodies are tube-like in appearance. Some examples of roundworm would be hookworms and threadworms. Roundworms are also considered to be parasites, and they can cause serious harm to the organism in which they live and feed on. The final type of worm is the segmented worm. The segmented worm has a body that is divided into small parts or segments. They are found in damp places, in soils, or along the seaside. Some examples of segmented worms are leeches, earthworm, and sandworm. Earthworms have both male and female sex organs. So now that you know a thing or two about worms, it's time for us to move on to another type of invertebrate. These are called myriapods. Myriapods are similar to worms because the structure it's like a worm, except myriapods have an exoskeleton, meaning that inside is soft and smushy, but outside is covered with a thick exoskeleton that protects the myriapods from injuries. Myriapods also have more than 10 pairs of legs. Can you imagine? 10 pairs of legs. So many legs. They also live on land and burrow into soils. Their bodies are also divided into segments. Some examples of myriapods would be millipedes and centipede. Now let's discuss the parts of the myriapod. Most myriapods would have an eye, and they have antennae and fangs that are used to trap their prey. And as mentioned before, their bodies are divided into segments. Another noticeable fact is that myriapods have many legs, more than 10 pairs. Here you can see an image of a centipede. Notice the many legs and the segmented body, also the antenna. And then we have another image depicting a millipede. A millipede sometimes curls up into a defensive position when it's being provoked. I don't know about you, but I learned a lot today about worms and myriapods. Now it's time for us to end our lesson, but I would like for you to remember the words of wisdom. Nothing in life is to be feared, it's only to be understood. Thank you for tuning in, boys and girls, and goodbye.